We'll discuss a very small topic for today. Let's see F4 help using what? OVS. Yesterday we have seen F4 help using freely programmed search help. Okay. Now let us see F4 help using OVS. OVS stands for Object Value Selector. Object Value Selector. OVS stands for Object Value Selector. Okay. Right. So the requirement is something like this. We should have the view which should contain customer and what country. For this customer, I'll create a CST number type Kunnar. I'll give the input help mode as what? Object value selection or object value selector. So what you have to do here is we need to create a Webdynpro component. Okay, we need to create what? A custom Webdynpro component using the standard component WDR underscore OVS as what? Component usage. Understood? We need to create a custom component in which we have to use the standard component as what? Component usage. Okay. Then what you have to do? We have to implement OVS event. We have to implement the OVS event of the standard component. Okay, and then for your attribute you need to set the input help mode to what? Object value selection. Okay, and in this, since we are setting the input help mode as object value selection, we need to set this property called as what? Component usage. We have to provide the component usage name. This is what you have to do. Understood? So we need to create a custom Webdynpro component. Okay. In that custom Webdynpro component, we have to use the standard component WDR underscore OVS as what? Component usage. And then we have to implement the OVS event of the standard component. So already we have seen the other standard components for ALV and what? Select option. Similarly, WDR underscore OVS is also one of the standard components. So if you go to Object Navigator, see here. Yeah, in this, let me navigate to the standard component, Webdynpro component. Standard Webdynpro component. What is the component name? WDR underscore OVS. This is the standard component given by SAP itself. WDR underscore OVS. Let me open that. Yeah, so see here. This is a standard component given by SAP. WDR underscore OVS. System component for what? OVS input help. This component is further using some other Webdynpro component. Understood? This standard component itself is using some other standard Webdynpro components. Okay. What we have to do? We have to create our own component and use this as what? Component usage. And then we have to implement a event. This component contains an event called as what? OVS. There is the event name itself is what? OVS. Then for your attribute, we have to set the input help mode to what? Object value selection, and component usage you have to give the component usage referring to what? WDR underscore OVS. Yesterday we gave the input help mode as freely programmed searcher. Now we have to give this one. Okay, so let's see how to do it. So first of all, let me create my own Webdynpro component. Right, so I'm creating my own Webdynpro component. So I'll say Z what 10 a.m. WD 27. 27 is already over, so I'll say 28. I'll give the description OVS searcher. I'll give the window name window 1. I'll give the view name as V1. Window name is window 1, view name is V1. Let me save it in the local object. So what is the view requirement here? I want a view something like this, which should contain two input fields and two labels. So I want a form kind of thing. So let us create since I want a form, I require what? Node. So directly at the view level, I'll create a node. Right. So as of now, I'll directly go to the view first. For this view, I'll create the context. What is that I require? Three input fields. I require a node with what? Three attributes. So let me declare that as part of the view context. Right click on this, create what? Node. I'll give the node name as KN1 underscore node. Let the cardinality be what? 1:1 because I want a form kind of thing. Continue. Let me create the attributes manually. Right click on this, create attribute. I'll give the attribute name as Kunnar. Type what? Customer number. You can see the input help mode here. By default it is what? Automatic. So you'll get the what? Search help attached with this particular data element. So for the time being, let it be like that. Then I'll create another attribute. I'll give the attribute name as land1. Type land1 underscore GP. Then I'll create another attribute. I'll give the attribute name as name1. Type name1 underscore GP. Name1 underscore GP or city I want, right? So I want the city. Okay, so I'll give the attribute name as ORT01. I'll give the data element as ORT01 underscore GP. Done. So I created this. Then let me design the layout. I want a form kind of thing. So I'll choose the form K11 node. Right. So this is my form container. This is a section header. I'll give the text. Done. So form is what? Created. Right? Customer, country and what? City. Let me save it. By default this view is plugged to the window. I'll create the Webdynpro application. Right click on this, create Webdynpro application. I'll give the application name as underscore app28. Application gets created. It is saved. Activate your component. Right, component is activated. Right, so let me activate it. Let me execute this once. Right, this is the form I got. Okay, now for this customer, okay, when I press F4, I'll get what? Standard F4L, because the input help mode is set to what? Automatic. Automatic means it refers to the default search help attached at the data element level. So I don't want this. So what I have to do now? I need to change this. So let me go back to the component. So what is the first step you have to do here? We have to use the standard component WDR underscore OVS as what? Component usage. So here go to the component level. In the component level, already we know in the used components, what is the standard component? WDR underscore OVS. You have to provide some component usage name. I'll give the name as something OVS, any name. I'm giving it as OVS. So, right, I'm implementing that. Done. Then what I have to do here? Implement OVS event of what? Standard component. So now, first let me go to the view level. Okay, in the view level, just here. If you go to the context first, if you see the attribute what? Kunnar, it is of type what? Kunnar. What is the input help mode here? Automatic. What I'll do here? I'll change the input help mode to what? Object value selector. I'll change it to object value selector. I'll press enter. I'll press enter. Yeah. It is asking what? OVS component usage. What is the component usage name I gave? OVS only. So when I browse this, yes, understood. So that is the change I'm doing. Understood. For the customer number, input help mode I gave it as object value selector, and obviously the component usage is what? OVS. Done. So we are done with this first step, and what? Third step. We have to implement which event? OVS event. So we'll see that. So let me save it first. Check for the syntax errors. Activate your view. We use activated. OVS is not a component usage of what? WDR underscore s. Might be I need to activate the whole component first. Right click on this, activate your whole component. Yeah, it's activated. Now I'll activate the view also. View also is what? Activated. Okay, done. All component is also what? Activated. So once again, see for Kunnar, input help mode is object value sector, and I gave that OVS component usage. Done. Now if I refresh, I'll say FI here. Done. I'll put the cursor. Okay, we are having that symbol. I'll press F4. Nothing is up. Oh, we are getting what we are getting. I pressed F4 there. Let's see what happens. I may get runtime error. Let's see that. Good. What is the error I got? OVS method set underscore output table was not called. So it is trying to call some method, but method so and so was not called itself. Simple. When I press F4, it has to show me that F4 help na. So this is a method which is responsible for showing that. So I'm getting that error. So what I have to do is now at the view level, let me open in chain mode. At the view level only, we have used that object value selector. Na? I have to implement which event? OVS event. How do we implement? If you want to handle any event, you have to declare what? Event handler method. So at the view level itself, Okay, I'm at the view level. One second. Yeah, at the view level. So in the view level, I'll go to what? Methods tab. Okay, I have to handle which event? OVS. So what I have to do is, here I'll say HD underscore OVS. HD underscore OVS. What is the method type here? Event handler. Okay, provide some description. Event handler method for OVS. Here you can see it is asking the event. It is asking the event. Let me just browse this. I'll press F4. When I press F4, let me check. Oh, what is saying here? Used controllers do not have what? Event. So we are at the view level. This view knows only about the current controller. If you go to view properties, if you go to the view properties, this view knows only about the current controller. This view should know about the included component. What is that include component? WDR underscore OVS. So what you have to do at the view level, I'll go to what? Create controller usage. I'll implement these two. I'll include both this. The OVS. What is the other one? OVS interface control. So now the view also knows about what? Included component. Okay, check it. No syntax error. Now go to the methods. In the methods, for this method, for this event handler method, I'll browse this. Yes, you can see here there is one event here. There is two events. This is absolute event. Okay, we have to use only what? OVS. What is this? Input L callback to the component. So this is the event you have to handle. What is the event name? OVS. This event belongs to which component? Standard component. We are implementing that. So I'll just choose that. What is the event handler method? HD underscore OVS. That's all. Now we need to write the logic in this. So see the technique here. Let me double click on this method. So if I double click on the method, there will be some code auto generated. See here, there is some code auto generated. We need to do the necessary changes. We need to do the necessary changes. Okay, so let us see what are the changes. Any questions so far? Three steps you have to do. What is it? We have to include the standard component WDR underscore OBS as what? Component usage. Then as part of your view context attribute, you have to set the input help mode to what? Object value selection, provide the component usage name. Then you have to implement the standard event OVS. For implementing that, the view also should know about the included component. So first of all, at the view properties level, we have to include that particular standard component. Then only we can implement the standard event called as OVS. So we are in the event handler method now. So this has got some four what phases. If you see here, what is this? Phase 0, phase 0, what else? Phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, and what? Phase 3. Overall four phases. Phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to declare the input search fields and output list fields. Okay, so the first step I have to do here is here when I press F4, it has to show me two input fields. So that reason what I'll do is, so first what you have to do here, declare the, okay, for your understanding, I'll say begin of what? Custom code. Okay, I'm writing my own code now. So first what I have to do here, declare input structure field. So in the input structure, I want two fields. So what is the structure name they give? LTY underscore structure underscore input. Add fields for the display of your search input here. So they added one field here. I don't want this. Let me add my own field. So I'll say customer number type what? Customer number Then I'll say land one type, or let me say name one type, name one underscore what, GP. Understood? So this is my input structure fields. How many input structure fields I want? Two input structure fields. That's why I declare what? Two fields. Then here only they can you can see the template. You have to go by the template. These are nothing but output structure fields. So the next step is what? Declare what? Output structure fields. So here add fields here. So let me add here. Let me give the field names. Let me give the same field names. Doesn't matter. Sorry? No, it is not dependent on your layout. When I press F4, what are the input fields you want to show? That one. This is our view layout. This is our view layout. I'm not bothered about this. When I press F4 here, there it has to show me two input fields. What are the two input fields? Kunnar and what? Name one. Again in that when I press F4, it has to show me two output fields. Kunnar and what? Name one. Done. So I declare input structure fields and what? Output structure fields. Done. Done, done, done. Okay. Now what they have done here, see? They declared one work area, ls underscore search input, type what? LTY underscore, they have declared one work area based on input structure. They have declared one internal table. What is this? LT underscore select underscore list. Type standard table of what? LTY underscore structure underscore list. So they declared one work area based on our input structure, one internal table based on what? Output structure. Rest of things I'm not interested. Yeah. Now the main part is the phases. Phase 0, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Okay. So what is the first step I did? I declared my own input structure field. So let me close here. So here I'll say what? What? End of what? Custom code. Understood? So that you'll understand what I have done here. Done. Now phase 0. Phase 0, it seems it is called as what? Configuration phase. So in this what you will do is you'll provide the labels for your input fields and output fields. Labels for input fields and output fields. How many input fields you have? Two input fields, Kunnar and name one, and two output fields, Kunnar and what? Name one. So what I'll do in phase 0, scroll down. Yeah, good. So this is the internal table for input. This is the internal table for what? Output. Okay, done. So what they are saying here? Must match a field name of search, must match a field in list. Done. So see the technique here. So here I'll say ls underscore text hyphen name equal. What is the first field there? Name one. Na? So sorry, Kunnar. Input structure is what? Kunnar. What is the label you want to give for that? So I'll give the label as what? Customer number. Wantedly for my understanding I'll give the label as what? INP, just to show that as what? Input field. Okay, done. Next I'm having one more input field na? So control C, control V. What is the next input field? Name one. I'll say name one. Customer what? Name. I'll give it again what? INP. So I prepared internal table containing the labels for what? My input field. Similarly do the process for what? Okay, output field. So here also I'll say what? Begin of what? Begin of custom code. And here I have to prepare the output field. What is the first output field again? Kunnar only na? So first output field is Kunnar. Okay, in the output structure, what is the label you want to show? I'll give the label as what? Again, customer number. For your understanding, I'll give it as what? Something what? Out. Just to show you that as what? Output field label. Okay. Repeat this process for another output field. Name equal. What is the other output field here? Yes, name one. I'll give this as what? Customer what? Name output. Done. So what I did in the phase 0, I have given the labels for input structure fields and output structure fields. Done. Done. Okay, so I'll close it here. End of what? Custom code. So this is my phase 0. Okay, next phase one. Phase one, you will not do anything, I think. Phase one, it will automatic you, in the phase one you will set the input structure. What is the input structure work area here? Already they declared. What is the input structure work area? ls underscore search underscore input. I think they have done it automatically. Let me check. Phase one, yeah, in the phase one, yeah, you can see they are automatically setting the input structure. I need not do anything. So this is an optional phase one is what? Optional phase, where they'll set the input structure automatically. They'll set done, don't disturb that. Then in phase two, we'll write the business logic. In phase two, we'll write the business logic, means you'll write the select query. Okay, how many fields you want to get? Customer number and what? Name one. So yeah, you can write somewhere here. Where is that? What is this? Business logic for a table of what? Possible values. So I have to fill this particular internal table. What is this? Select underscore list. What is the select underscore list here? Select underscore list is the internal table defined on what? Output structure. Okay, depend on output structure. What is the internal table name? lt underscore select underscore list. So just scroll down. Here phase one is optional, it will automatically set. In phase two, somewhere here I have to write the business logic. Okay, so here I have to say what? Again, for your understanding, I'll say begin of what? Custom code, and this is what? End of what? Custom code. So what is that? Select customer number name one from what? kn1 into table. Into table, what is the internal table? lt underscore select underscore list, where land one in, I'll just give some data, ar what, af and what, india. Understood? This is my condition. So make sure that you write the business logic, get the data into this particular internal table. That is the phase two. Okay, done. Next, in the last phase, phase three, you have to return the fields. You have to specify the return fields. Yeah, in phase three, apply the result fields. Done. So see this carefully. Yeah, done. This one. Here you have to set it. What is that you have to set here is they have commented it. You uncomment it. You uncomment it. Here, what is the first what? Field name? What's the first field name? Kunnar. You want to write in Kunnar only, na? Kunnar, ls underscore selection hyphen Kunnar. That's all. Because you have written what? Customer number only. Hope this will work. That's it. Let me check. Save it. Check for the syntax errors. We have errors, huh? No. No errors. Okay, so basically this event handler function contains what? Four phases: phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. In phase 0, that is called as configuration phase, where we will define the labels for input and what? Output structure fields. Phase 1 is optional phase, where we need to set the input structure. It will be set automatically. In phase 2, we have to write the business logic and fill that particular final internal table. In phase 3, we have to specify which field you want to return. So which field you have to return? Kunnar only, na? Because we are providing FRL for Kunnar only. Okay, activate this part. That's it. So it should come. Let's see that. Let me activate the whole component. Let me execute this. Right, so I'll press F4 here. Earlier we got standard F4L. Now I'll press F4. Good. Yeah. What is this labels I give? INP and what? INP. Done. Input fields. Okay. Now I'll click on this. Okay, if I click on this, what happened? Hmm. search. But we got too many things. Okay, 1 second. I think I'll click on this. Yes, here. What I got? Customer out, customer. What I am getting only the customer to what? This Argentina, India, and what so and so. So whatever I choose, if I choose this CL303, I got what CL3. Done. F4. This is my input fields. Click on the search button. These are all the default buttons. None. So like this, we can provide the labels, whatever you want. I'll choose this one, Jonah David. What I got? Corresponding customer number. Irrespective of whatever I choose, I'll get what? Customer number, because here I specified the return field. Here in phase 3, you have to apply the result. Means you have to specify the return field. Like this. The template is auto generated, just we have to do the necessary changes. Okay, so in the interview perspective you have to explain these particular steps. This implementation contains how many phases? 4 phases. Phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 0 is called as configuration phase, where we will define the labels for input structure fields and output structure fields. Phase 1 is optional phase, where we have to specify the input structure. It is done automatically. Phase 2 is where we write the business logic. We have to write the select query and get the data into the final internal table. And in phase 4, which is the final phase 3, which is the final phase, there you have to specify the return field, whichever field you want to return from the search help. Okay, so these are the 4 types of what search helps that we can associate for a Webdynpro input field. Automatic, what else? Dictionary search help, and then what? Yesterday we have seen that automatic dictionary search help, OVS, and what? Freely programmed search help. Done. Okay, so I'll stop for today. One small communication. I'll not take class for next 4 5 days. I'll take the next class on. Okay, next class, next Webdynpro class. I'll take it on Thursday, next week Thursday. Okay, Thursday and Friday. I'll try to wind up the entire batch these 2 days. Okay, in this I'll discuss different types of layouts and tabbed UIBB and some information related to what Paul. Okay, so this is what, and in that only I'll cover the integration to what smart form and Adobe form. Okay, Thursday, Friday. I require at least 2 hours. I'll finish up that. Understood? So I'll not take class till next Thursday. Next WebBrain Pro class will be on Thursday. Done? So whatever I discussed today and yesterday, I'll share that recordings also. Last week did I share anything? I've shared now. So I'll share these recordings also input help. Next class will again have it on what? Thursday. Done? Any questions online? Right, so I'll try to cover the example here to Paul also. Amar, you asked for that, so I'll try to frame one example and I'll try to share it in the live session only. Okay, I'll do it in the next week, and that would be the last topic. Okay, and I'm having some more examples, some another 7 to 8 examples which I might have not covered in the live session related to other controls. Okay, I'll share those things also. Okay, so next Webdynpro class again we'll meet on what? Thursday. Done? So I'm winding off. We'll meet again on Thursday. Ashok, tomorrow we are having the Core app. We are running Core app, so tomorrow we'll have the Core app. same time, 8 o'clock. Yeah, chalo then.